Good morning, guys. Hello. We'll start here in 2 minutes. Questions, tickers, don't want a comment box. You know the drill. Happy Monday. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Full report for you this morning. Talk about our futures, our spot, swing trades, and our pre-market volume later. Good morning, Morgan. Just put your questions about trading or tickers in the comment box, and I'll get to them in the middle of my report. Hello from Bali. Guys, I'm also broadcasting live on YouTube at Student Alpha. If you'd prefer to follow me there with a horizontal view instead of a vertical view, landscape rather than portrait. So I am live over on YouTube at the same time. I'm getting set up to do some lives on TikTok as well, guys. I don't think I'll be able to do them at the same time. They make it a little more difficult. All right, guys, we'll start here in 20 seconds. Just let some people populate in. Questions, stickers, throw them in the comment box, and we'll get crushing this report. All right, guys, yeah, go over to YouTube, no problem. I see some of you guys jumping over there. All right, let's get started, folks. Again, good morning, happy 24th, Thanksgiving week. It'll be a shortened trading week this week, guys. With the markets, and I think we have a lot of the Z contracts expire at the end of this week, so they're still actively being traded. That's what I'm calling this today, and trading today, but they expire this week. See you guys jumping over to YouTube. Glad you like that format better over there at Student Alpha. If you guys want to watch me there in the mornings, I broadcast there as well. All right, let's get into it. So data, there is none scheduled today. This week, I think we have scheduled CPI and PPI, if I'm correct, if they launch it. I believe they're going to. So that's what I've read so far. All the data is backlogged from the government shutdown. So let's get into the S&P 500, ES-MES. All right, guys. Open price 66.55, high day 65.70, low day 65.25. Resistance at high day and 6,700. Support at low day and 66.25. We are long above 66.42 right here. So we have an incoming read. I like, for my traders, I like this VWAP test into that buy right around 57. We'll be looking for that in the war room. Mean reversion levels are 6,000 and 6,500. The daily is still short, folks. Still short. Last week it flipped short the first time since April. It was a hell of a bull run. All right. RTY M2K, the Russell 2000. And guys, people ask me, like, why do I give these numbers? Because they're important support and resistance. Remember, all trading is the search for support and resistance. And then understanding how to trade it, guys. Again, if you have questions or tickers, feel free to throw them in the chat box there as I get into finishing my report. Yeah, glad you guys over there on YouTube like the full size chart. I like it better too. The Russell 2000 open price 23.87, high day 23.95, low day 23.69, resistance at high day and 24.50, support at low day and 2300. The bias is long above our bias line, white line, above 23.75. We're getting a little bit of VWAP resistance, but that primary read is going to come in, or that long read is going to come in right when that VWAP breaks, right at about 84. And that should be a 10-point hunt. We are up against the 2400 diamond, so we'll be taking that into consideration in the war room, guys. This is one of the primary setups we look for. There's about 4 different setups that we primarily trade in my war room, and I measure out all the levels for everybody. That's why you want to be in my VIP and trade with me. I do all the heavy lifting. All right, let's get into gold. A lot of you gold traders out there. Let's see if I can see around my big fat mic. All right. There we go. How's it look? There we go. So for XAU, just subtract a couple points. They're almost par again. I think it's like a 2 or 3 point difference. Open price. Looks like I fat thumbed my open price. Standby. I got it wrong in my report. Opened at 60. Is that 1600? Not 1600. You got to find it. It's right here. It's this candle. Oh, what is it? 40.58. High day 40.83. Lower day 40.36. Resistance at high day and 41.20. We will have resistance at 41, but I went off of the high of right here, up in here, right? Support at lower day and 40.20. That was Friday's low. And bias is long above 40.60 right here, and that should be strong against a bias flip, guys, because you see that magic gold line. That's the VWAP. Right now we're dancing around that all-time high VWAP currently, and then a date of VWAP. So I think we have upward bias in gold. Looking for longs, we do have long bias. So our next read, folks, is going to be right about that price, it's right around 75. We're going to have to get the confirmation. This might be a second read. If you don't know what I'm talking about, these are reads that I call in my war room. Come join me for free for 7 days. Just go to click the link in my bio and go get VIP. You can trade for 7 days with me. Evie, are you all set up? Let me know. All right. How's Florida, Clev? Nice and warm. It's cold here. All right, guys. Silver. Let's get into silver. If you have any questions or tickers, we'll look at them momentarily for you. All right, here you go. So silver, about $1.50 different from Friday. I mean, look at this Friday beta. This is ridiculous. It's a tough to trade right now, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what I told my war room. Open price 49.86, high day 50.05. Support at low a day and 49.37. Or low a day is 49.37. Resistance at high day 50.50. Support at low a day and 49. It's crazy we could do that in almost 1 5-minute candle. The bias is long above 49.60. You can see, look, you guys don't think VWAPs work. Look how accurately I just tapped that. You don't think they worked? We're coming into a long buy signal here. We got a VWAP touch into this potential cross right here at about 49.83. Would be a buy for 10 cents. Again, you're up against the 50 diamond right here. But the 10 cents exists inside the high day. The daily's long. Mean inversion levels are 45 and 55. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat, guys. Mom's over on YouTube. Outstanding. All right. So, platinum for XPT, the underlier, just subtract 13 from my numbers. Here we go. I like this for a swing, guys. If you're in one of my Discords, right? If you're in my Discord, I put out a video every week that's 15 to 20 minutes that explains all these levels and the direction going forward. I call this a swing. I've called this a swing. I haven't changed from my tune. The platinum is a swing trade. Open price 15.26, high day 15.55, low day 15.24. Resistance at high day and 15.90. Support at low day and 15.10. The bias is short below, or it's long. I think it flipped. It's long above 15.34. The daily is short. So the hourly is long. So I own this down here, guys. That's where I own it. Just chop it up. Chop it up. All right, the 9-month and NAMO oscillators cooled off slightly from their oversold levels. They're at negative 29 respectively each, and VIX is 22. So we're still in selling, and we're on the sell side in the indices. Or I'm sorry, in the oscillators. So they could lift a little bit, or they could drop back down. Just a reload for a new drop. We'll see what the markets give us. Macro experts are telling me that the percentage chance of a rate cut is higher now in December, which should lift metals and markets, which would cool off VIX and cool off the oscillators. All right, let's get into a few of my swing trades. I'm going to answer your questions in just a second, so make sure you throw them in there. And then I'll talk about my pre-market volume leader, so stick around. We've got about 5 more minutes on the report here. Tesla is currently at $399. NVIDIA is at $180. BBI is in the buy zone at 554. QBTS is at the buy zone at 2041. Ethereum's at 2825. If it doesn't hold here, it sees 2400. And again, guys, I went over every single one of these and then some in my video I posted in my Discord. That's why you want to be in there. I do all the TA for you because I've got the education, right? I want you to learn it, but you get to see the experts report on this. What would be good is if you do these also and then compare notes, right? If you want to learn how to do this, buy my course, offer money back guarantee. You can join my VIP 7-day free trial. You can join my free Discord, link in the bio. That's how you're going to get to my VIP. If you have any questions, you can always send me a message. Might not get back to you right away, but I still answer everybody. All right. So anyway, let me see what questions you have. Good morning, Anna, over in the Ukraine. Let me check the questions that you might have. Let's see. Again, you can always follow me on YouTube at Student Alpha. I'm on Twitter as well. All right. People from all over the world on here. It's great to see it. I've got traders from all over the world. All right. Good, Evie. I'm glad you're in. Don't have to send you a direct link. Outstanding. No questions. You guys are easy. Don't be afraid to ask questions, guys, because if you're thinking something, somebody else may be also. No question too basic on my pre-market report. And then, of course, before I get to my pre-market volume leader, in my live war room, you can see on the charts, I have the level set. I call the entries that I take. I help people that make entries in their trades, foster stop losses, and take profits. And then when we have downtime waiting for trades to develop, I do a lot of educational pieces. It's really beneficial to be in there. So, all right, let's talk about my pre-market volume leader. Let me switch screens. And then if you have any tickers, let me know. I really covered it thoroughly in the report this past weekend. ENLV. It's a biotech. Imagine that, guys. ENLV is a pre-market volume leader with a move up of 96% on news of a private placement of $212 million. So that's an investment in the company. Previous day close was 89 cents. Pre-market high was $1.81. That's your fib range. My area of interest usually includes that VWAP, but it's between 130 and 145, and we need to watch that VWAP, right? If we fall below it, we run the 10%. We take 10% or VWAP, whichever comes first. If it supports that, we run our 10% above it. So you want to look at the historic value of this thing. So you run out to the daily, and one thing that we want to look for on these trades is, are there any, see these gold S's back here? Those are splits because these companies burn a lot of cash in research and development. So the last one is in 19. So this price peak right here is in play. What are we at? 210 is, so we have pre-market high at 181. We have 210. So that $2 zone is going to be resistance. And then above that, we've got almost a double out. So we'll have to see. And one thing you want to do is find out why did this drop. I can tell you from trading these for so long that this drop right here was probably not passing a drug trial phase, right? So this is not a scalp to swing based on the information that I see here, right? This is just going to be a 10% hunt. But if you take 10% on pre-market volume leaders 2 to 3 times a week, you're going to be very happy at the end of the month after end of a year. Well, I'll be covering gold from its current price. Yes, I already talked about gold. And I talked about it in my weekend video update. Real quick recap on gold. It's long bias. And actually, this is the primary read buy level. I believe it sees into the 4090 to 4100 range today. And we have and I would definitely buy off this VWAP at 40.60 if it drops. Come to my war room. I talk about it extremely specifically. All right. What was that ticker? EN. There you go. Can you see it? ENLV. Edward Nora Lincoln Victor is my pre-market volume leader. Area of interest is $1.30 to $1.45. All right, guys, I'm going to head off to. Yeah, I think it's. Well, let me see. I think it's the way I have to do it on Instagram. Here, now you can see it. All right, so I have to shift this so you guys can see price because it's limited. See how I'm shifting that around? There you go. ENLV. Now, not all pre-market volume leaders meet my qualifications, so I don't necessarily always trade them, guys. And then they have the higher risk of kicking you out, but with a tight disciplined stop loss, you can take 7 losses and do 3 wins, and you're going to double your scalping portfolio in 82 days. That's how the math works on that. All right, I'm going to head off to my trading war room where guys pay to trade with me. I'd like you to come trade with me for 7 days for free to see if it's a value to be there. You guys have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow. This is a shortened week trading. Have a good one.